The 2021 NBA Draft has officially come and gone, and the dust has just about settled from the occasion now. All of the incoming rookies have now found new homes, the surprises of the night have all been discussed and analyzed, and now we wait for Summer League to begin to see these new faces live in action with their new teams for the first time. Now that the 2021 draft is over, though, it's never too early to get started preparing for next year's draft, and that's exactly what we'll be doing today. Today's video is a mock draft for the 2022 class, and trust me when I say I fully realize that it is way too early to be predicting this kind of stuff. If anything, the main purpose of this video is just to give you all a bit of insight into the names that are coming into this year's draft class, and to get you familiar with them and where they currently stand in the eyes of NBA scouts around the world. Before we start though, it turns out about 60% of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so please, if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I'd also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. Starting with the first pick in the 2022 draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga. Holmgren is the #1 prospect in the class at the moment, and he's headed to Gonzaga to hopefully get them over the hump after they came up just short in the national championship game this past season. He's been labeled the next unicorn for years now, and every year he just gets more and more dominant, and his game proves to be so polished inside and out for a 7-footer. His shot creation is ridiculous for a player at his size. He can competently handle the ball, and he'll get a bucket from anywhere on the floor. He's had a phenomenal summer so far, having just won the MVP of the U19 World Cup, where he helped lead Team USA to the gold medal of that competition, and his skill set is built for the next level. I won't say he's an absolute lock for the top spot, because the next player I'm about to discuss with the next pick is right there with him in contention for the top, but right now, Holmgren is who I view as the best prospect in next year's class. Next up, with the second pick in the draft, the Orlando Magic select Paolo Banchero from Duke. This year will be Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski's final season before he retires, so it's only fitting that he brought in a dominant force like Banchero to hopefully lead Duke on one final March Madness run. Banchero is a 6'10" shot creator with the strength and build of a linebacker, so right away he'll be a matchup nightmare for any defender. While he can absolutely bully you inside because of that strength, he also has the skill of a guard in that he loves to use his dribble to create space and get his shot off from the perimeter, and if you overplay his shot, then he'll use his quick first step to blow right by you for an explosive slam at the rim. Banchero is a very special talent who, as I said in my discussion for the last pick, will also definitely be in contention for the top pick. Up next, with the third pick, the Detroit Pistons select Jalen Duren. Duren is still technically included in next year's class, but several reports have all said that he is looking to reclassify and join this year's recruiting class, so while his decision is not official yet, it does seem quite unlikely that he'll be returning to high school for one more season. If he can get something sorted on time, he'll look to commit to a top collegiate program such as Kentucky, but if that doesn't work out in time, then he is expected to play 1 year professionally before going to the draft. Duren has the look of a 5-year NBA veteran already, as he's so physically imposing with his ridiculous size and strength. He's a top-tier athlete that finishes well above the rim, and with his strength, he absorbs contact and remains unfazed. His mobility, physicality, and overall skill set will undoubtedly be enticing for teams at the next level, so when he reclassifies, he'll immediately be one of the best players in this class. Next up, with the fourth pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Jaden Hardy, who will be playing in the G League Ignite team. Hardy will be following in the footsteps of Jalen Green and company by going to the route of joining the G League, and just like it worked out for Green, the exposure in front of NBA scouts on a regular basis, combined with the fact that he'll be facing tougher competition, should absolutely help him out as he prepares for the draft and the transition to the NBA. Hardy is a score-first player by nature as a combo guard, and he has deep range on his jumper, where he's comfortable knocking down shots well beyond the arc. He can really fill it up with a good mix of production inside and out, and he may be the best guard in this big man-filled class. Up next with the 5th pick, the San Antonio Spurs select AJ Griffin from Duke. Griffin fell a bit in recruiting circles after missing a year of play due to the fact that he was recovering from an injury, but barring any setbacks, he has incredible upside to pair with Banchero at Duke this season. He has experience with the Team USA youth teams, he was once again competing to be the top-ranked recruit in the class before his injury, and his combination of shot creation, physical profile, and defensive potential, and creation make him the perfect kind of player that should excel at the next NBA level. Next up with the 6th pick, the Houston Rockets select Caleb Houstan from Michigan. Houstan also had a great summer playing for Canada's U19 team at that World Cup, and game after game, he was having terrific individual performances there. He's viewed as a bit of a 3-and-D guy because of his standout ability to knock down perimeter shots and lock up on opposing wing players defensively, but offensively, he's definitely able to create way better than your average 3-and-D guy can. When he gets out in transition, he attacks the rim hard, he's not afraid of contact in the paint, and with how good of a shooter he is, he does well blowing by hard closeouts when the defenders overextend trying to take away his jumper. Up next with the 7th pick in the draft, the Sacramento Kings select Patrick Baldwin from Milwaukee. It could be argued that Baldwin is the most talented wing player in this year's draft class, and at 6'9", his level of shot creation is typically what scouts salivate over. The one thing that could hold him back this year from hearing his name called early on in the draft is the fact that he chose to play for mid-major Milwaukee in the Horizon League, where his dad coaches, and while he will be the star of the team and their go-to guy there, he won't exactly be getting as much attention for it as other guys will, as coverage of teams in conferences like that tend to be minimal. Obviously, mid-major players have shown out and become top prospects in the past, and he's definitely talented enough to where it won't matter, but it will be worth noting nonetheless. Next up with the 8th pick in the draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Jabari Smith Jr. from Auburn. Smith is the son of former NBA player Jabari Smith, so he already has a connection to the next level, and he has the ideal size, feel, and skill to be a perfect modern-day power forward. He's a bit skinny at the moment, so he will need to add some muscle over time, but he's a good shooter from the outside, and he can still get it done inside as well, with great skill and touch around the basket. At Auburn, he'll be ready to get them back to the top of the SEC, and that whole team will be very fun to watch throughout the year. Up next with the 9th pick in the draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Yannick Nzosa from the Congo. Here we have a young rim protector with unreal defensive potential, and NBA teams will look at it and firmly believe they can unlock that with the right development program with him. He's a 7-footer with great mobility and length, and he already has a knack for erasing shots around the rim. Interior defenders that can protect the rim and move their feet as well as Nzosa can don't come around very often, so for that alone, he should get plenty of looks in the top 10. And finally, to round out the top 10 of this mock draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Kennedy Chandler from Tennessee. Chandler may be slightly undersized for a point guard at 6'1", but he can quite simply give you everything you could want from the position. He has amazing feel for the game, he sees the court well and uses impressive basketball IQ to always make the right decision, he's a floor general by nature, and he does all of the little things winning teams need their leader to do to be successful. He's been described as a first-team all-does-everything kind of guy, and that is exactly the kind of reputation that top picks should have. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about next year's draft class. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.